If you're anything like me and enjoy experiencing the nostalgia that is Wizard 101, you may often find yourself logging into the game and strolling through places like the Commons with its many friendly faces that either spin for hours on end or just sit there and blankly stare into the dark void of oblivion, contemplating innumerable quantities of equations of varying complexity and how each may coincide with Einstein's theory of relativity. Or perhaps you may walk the hallowed grounds of Ravenwood, reminiscing on times such as debating which school to take up as a secondary, or gooning behind the ice school in a virtual makeout sesh. All of these understandable options aside, I also love to occasionally walk through the schoolhouses, and I thought why not make a ranking on each schoolhouse, its strengths, its weaknesses, and all in between. Lo and behold, here I am. Let's begin. Unfortunately, we're going to start with what may be considered the most disappointing piece of art since Gollum the game released, which is the Fire School's house. What many believe to be a metaphor for an STD, this house is a Jin's burning schlong on a scorched rock sailing through space. And no, dear viewer, I don't mean that in a good way. It's ugly, the texture is terrible on pretty much all of it. It's tiny, there's no room to pack anything you really want, and it's just ugly. It just needs an update. It's bad, it's disappointing, and sad. Inside, unfortunately, is really not much better than the outside. Pretty much every room is repetitive, and it's just a downward spiral till the end, and that is both figurative and literal. Just because it has kind of a cool basement and kind of a cool attic, it doesn't redeem it. And I think Commodore Norrington says it best.
One good deed is not enough to redeem a man of a lifetime of wickedness.
I mean, here I was wanting a Helephant stronghold that is kind of like a mix between Whiterun from Skyrim and Ogrimmar from World of Warcraft. But no, we just got the Jin penis. This house is going in the F tier. In fact, I'm going to actually make a new tier that goes below it. That it's just the bad tier. Yeah, it goes there. Next, we're going to rank, or I guess place, the Balance House, sadly. The Balance House, aesthetic-wise, is very cool. It's very unique, but my issue with it is it's just kind of, it's got weird placements everywhere. Like, I know the statue is supposed to be here, but it's just, it ain't it, you know? They've got a little house here on the side that's kind of nice, but for the most part, it just feels kind of cramped with weird placements everywhere. Like, I get it's got a big statue inside and most of the house is underground, but that makes above ground kind of cramped, and so that makes it so you need to run a marathon just to even get to the house or get to your chest. This area at first glance is great, but when you look past all of the stilts and the big statue, the reality is it's just kind of like a repetitive, boring house. Everything kind of looks the same, at least all of the rooms, besides this one, and you've got kind of like a little overhang, but the room itself is just kind of boring. Again, you just need to look past the stilts, and you really got nothing else besides that. I think it's a cool look, and it would fit great in a dungeon in Crocotopia, but just for a house, I can't recommend it. Sorry, we need a improvement on this. We need someone to come in and renovate it and give us like 3 different islands that are different from this, and it might be okay. Coming in at the 3rd worst house is, in my opinion, the Ice House. I do think the one thing it has going for it is it's got a big open area here for gardening and just kind of like display areas. But it just doesn't feel very homey. I get it's for ice wizards, and I get they just like that is cool, I guess. But for one, you can't swim when there's literal water everywhere. They could have easily just turned all of this shallow so you can actually just like walk in the water. but they decided against that, and so you have to kind of maneuver your way around the water, and it just all kind of looks the same. I know they have like 2 big statues there, and that's kind of cool, but I mean, and then there's the Gobbler Cave in the back, but look at this. Like, this doesn't feel like a home. It feels like a dungeon. Look at this. Like, it's... How is this cozy and warm? Like who in their right mind, even if you're an ice wizard, how would you, like, actually relax in a house where there are snowflakes falling from the ceiling? Like, I'm sorry, but you're a psychopath if you think that's acceptable for a house. So, 3rd place, sorry. 3rd worst, I should say. Now that we've got the 3 worst houses out of the way, we're actually starting to get into the solid homes. So I myself am a big fan of Gloom and Doom, the gothic aesthetic. I'm not confirmed a Dami Mommy, but I do appreciate a good Dami Mommy occasionally, and I think that this house is great. I love the aesthetic. I love Goosebumps and scary stories to tell in the dark, so obviously I'm gonna vibe with this house. I also just appreciate the fact that it's more compact, it's more uniform. It actually feels like a real house, unlike the previous installments in this series, or the previous houses I've gone over, I should say. This actually is a house. Like, look, it's got like an entryway, it's got a kitchen in the back, it's got an upstairs and a cellar, and even if it's haunted and spooky, you know, I'm willing to overlook that because it's awesome, and I actually dig the vibe. So anyway, 10 out of 10. I give this one A tier, definitely. I actually didn't rank the past 2, but I'll show you the chart. But both ice and balance and fire are all pretty low. But this one is much higher because it's great, and everything from here on out is awesome and is just better than this. Next, we got the Storm House. Another just really solid house. It fits Storm very well. It's kind of it's much more, I guess, friendly than the Death House. It just feels like, you know, you're on a random island in the middle of nowhere, but it's not like in a sad way. It's in like just kind of like a lay back and vibe way, you know. This house, I really like how the inside feels very homey. You got a nice aquarium, you got a nice viewing portal out here that you can see storm sharks. It's awesome. It's just creative and fun, and it's a great house, and I would say my 3rd favorite. So overall, this one goes in A tier as well. It's great. They did a great job with it, and I do recommend buying this if you are a Storm or just like looking at stormy horizons. So, second to best is the Life House. This may come as a surprise. I am usually pretty biased towards Life because I am a Life main, as you can tell. I do love this house. I think it has a very happy, and, you know, just like nice, moody feel. It's definitely one of those homes that I have always, like, whenever I'm considering buying a house, this is always one I consider. But it's never one I buy, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's like one of the few that I actually haven't bought. I think it's very cool the way it's done. My only issue with it is it's just so big and it's like tiered. So it's massive, but unlike the Death House, there's not really uniform to the house. So it just kind of feels like a tiered castle. And like here, like you got kind of just weird areas, and it doesn't really have a uniform pattern to it. It just all feels kind of carved into the tree, which I'm sure was the purpose. And it's not a bad thing. I think it's good. You know, it's cool. I like how they incorporated a lot of life things into this. And that's why it's so high up on the list. I have it ranked at number 2. And I honestly, if I I'd imagine most people, out of all of the school homes, most people would probably purchase this if I had to guess. I could be wrong, but this is just a big fun house, and yeah, it's definitely A tier, top of A tier for me. And if you couldn't guess, obviously my favorite house is the Myth House. This is just my base house I have, and so I just wanted to show you all how messy my house is while I kind of showcase this house. I have always loved this house. I just think it's got a lot of room here for gardening. It's got a lot of spirit and character for what it is. And even though I'm not a myth wizard, I still have a lot of fun with it. And you know, anything from like this little area. I don't know if it's a pantheon or if this is a pantheon. I don't know. I don't know my mythology, okay? But I do enjoy this house a lot, even if I just use it as a dumping grounds for my backpack. It's just got a lot of fun areas. It's got teleporters. How the house is kind of like high up, and you can kind of look down and see, you know, your kingdom all the way from up here. And it's got everything from the rain cloud to a big inside area. I've just always loved this house, and I highly recommend buying it. So out of all of the base school houses, I think this is the strongest, and I think the devs just had the most fun making it from, you know, everything it is. I'd be surprised if anyone disagrees with me in terms of just like creative freedom and just enjoying it, because the other homes are fun and good, but this is just supreme in my opinion. So if you disagree with me, that's fine. Let me know in the comments. Obviously everyone's got their preferences. Some people like gardening. Some people like decorating. Some people are like me and just don't really decorate and just kind of like dump all their stuff. And I guess like one downside with this house, as well as pretty much every other house, is you can't just set your chest here. Like I have to trek all the way up to my house in there just to get to my chest after pressing home, which is kind of a pain and has made me consider just changing to a dorm so I can have a chest immediately by me. But you know, if you look past that, it's still a very fun house, and it's very it has a lot of character for what it's worth. So this is the S tier house for me. I'll show that completed list on screen, just so you guys can have a better idea of my rankings. Let me know if you agree.